Okay, so today for this assignment, I'm going to be evaluating. Can't read this backwards. It says, "What a Wonderful World." It's basically the visual, adorable book illustrated by Tom Hobgood, but it's using the words from the Louis Armstrong song. Um, Totally eye-catching and adorable, and it's pretty cute. Why did I choose this book? I chose this book. I actually didn't have very many options today. Um, I'm not home and not near a library, so I had to use books that were around me. And I chose this book out of the few just because it was a book that I knew I could get a hold of immediately that could answer some of the questions differently. Some of the questions I haven't answered yet on the checklist, which was like, does it have a dust jacket illustration? And this does. Has a dust jacket. I had to look up what a dust jacket was because I was like, I had no idea what a dust jacket was. But this does, and I love the dust jacket, and I love the illustration underneath. It's really cute on both sides. I didn't even look at the back. Oh, just the same, but very cute. I just love it. Very super duper cute. Um, I think the grade level that would be appropriate for this book. I mean, it's just a cute book for everybody in general, especially if you're not like a cynical, hateful human being. This is a cute book to look at and see, even if you already know the words, you're singing the words, but you're just looking at the illustrations, seeing how the author, um, or sorry, I guess the author illustrator put his own little personal touch on it. I think the purpose could technically be used for ELL for language learners, English language learners, because um, in the book it has things like red roses too. So I don't know, it's just like describing words about the pictures, things we see, and you could use this as showing this is a red rose. You know, the red is the describing word of what this is. It's a rose and it's red. You know, stuff like that. And also, it's just like a cultural perspective book in a way that it's kind of broad. It's a little bit of a stretch. However, you just learn about the world in a broad way and learn that, there's things about it that make it wonderful. And here's why the author thought this. Well, sort of. So, a little bit, here's my checklist, a little bit of things that I filled out about this book. Again, I just wrote what kind of book it is, or I just said that. What does the reader have to anticipate from the title? It's a Wonderful World, and here's why, or here's illustrations. This book, we already know the words to this book, and the words do tell the story about why, but it's more about the illustrations. The illustrations show why he thinks, why this person thinks it's a wonderful world, because the words don't go into too much detail. Dust jacket illustration, yes, it has the dust jacket, the really neat, nice, laminated dust jacket. The size of the print, they're pretty large words. I mean, as we can see, they're very large. And the illustrations, every page is just complete from top to bottom with illustrations all the way. But there's no chapters, there's no chapter headings, stuff like that. And the age range, I think the age range, even I put 2 to 5, but I put 2 to 5 as 2 would be like the minimum age of kids who could understand what they're looking at. However, it's just a eye-catching book for babies, infants as well. Characterization. How does the author reveal the characters? I think this, because of the book that I chose, and I tend to choose books in the preschool age range as they are just things that they mean a lot to me already, and I genuinely gravitate towards preschool things anyways. It's just my passion. So I'm going to struggle to not choose a preschool book. But because this is a preschool book, the author doesn't necessarily reveal a character. However, we see a little boy here, and I believe that this is the author as a little boy, and I will get to my reason why I believe that at the end. But he's just revealed visually as a character that's just drawn in to, and I'll tell you why I think that he's there. Right now, actually, it says is the behavior of the characters, it's the next one. Is the behavior of the characters consistent with their ages and backgrounds? Yes, the little boy is seen doing the actions expressed by the words on the page. So, like, I don't necessarily think that the character is an important, it's hard to, I guess I don't really know the words for how to describe this, but I don't think that the boy is, like, he's not like Harry Potter, right? He's not like Harry Potter in that book. He's just like, he's important because he's the author, and the author is using this character to further the feelings, further the expressive ability to show why he believes this, right? And it gives children more of a grasp. Like, they see this little boy, and they see this little boy having fun and doing all these things, and it's just one of those. That's why the character is important. Is there any character growth or development? Like I said, I think these are a little bit tough to answer. This is mainly just speculation. In a way, perhaps we can speculate that the little boy didn't already know that the world was wonderful and didn't already believe these things. And with the book, with the illustrations and the words combined, we can go on to believe that the boy living these things and hearing these words and experiencing the things that he's experiencing, he can grow personally. He can grow in his own mind and in his own way into believing and thinking that the world is a wonderful place. It says, has the author shown causes of character, behavior, and development? Again, I just think that the words and illustrations that we see and the behaviors that we see are the reasons why. That's a little silly. Okay, plot. Does the book tell a good story? I mean, of course it tells a good story if you're not a hateful, cynical person. You know, the world is a wonderful place. It's a good story. The illustration, again, this is heavily relied on illustrations. The words are the words from a song. So what really tells the story is the illustration. It's the little boy doing the things that he's doing. It's like one of those books, like The Dog with the Red Ball, how that book doesn't really have words. Think of this book very similar to that. How maybe you're reading a book and it has a theme song, and the theme song is the Louis Armstrong What a Wonderful World. And we can see and infer all of these things and derive these things from the pictures. It's just a heavily relied on picture book, which is why I thought this was like so perfect for the section that we're doing, because it's a picture book to a T. It's like the arc of picture books. Like, everything is based on what you see in the picture, not necessarily the words that are being described. The words just help the story. They don't tell the story. Let's go on. Will the children enjoy it? Is there action? I believe 100% without a doubt that if I were to tell this to a handful of kids right now, they would love it. And even more so if I were to play the song, and they were to hear the song, and we were to even read the book with the song. Also, because every page is filled with eye-popping, colorful illustrations from top to bottom. I keep bringing this. Let's see this. See this cute illustration. Okay, is the plot original and fresh? Another tough. All of these are so tough because I feel like they're questions made for books that actually have like a Harry Potter, like a main character in it. So I just said this is a visual book about the song by Louis Armstrong. Um, so I think the plot is original and fresh only because of the reason behind why the author decided to write it. At the end of the book, and I will at the end of the book, there's a little tidbit about why he decided to write it and what it meant to him. And I think that is why, not necessarily the words, because the words aren't original and fresh. It's the illustration and the way that the author decided to create the book is original and fresh. Setting. So there's not one in particular setting because this is a book about why the author believes, in a way, that the world is a wonderful place. So the character in the book is seen in many different settings. How does the setting affect the action of the characters? Well, because the setting varies, the actions of the character, the little boy, varies. Like, on the cover, we see that he's in a hot air balloon. On another page, there's some animals, and he is riding the animals. So it is, every setting completely changes what he's doing, and he does something that is, I guess, appropriate to the setting. Let's see, we did this one. Style. Is the style of writing appropriate to the subject? Yeah. Again, this is a book about a song, so he didn't necessarily write the words. He just drew illustrations based on how he felt about the words, about the song, about the reason why he loved the song, and his personal impact from the song. So I believe that it's swapped. It's not necessarily the style of writing that's appropriate. I believe that it's the style of illustrations, how he illustrated. Gosh, this is a long video, I'm sorry. And how he illustrated the book that is appropriate to the words. Yeah. Is the style straightforward or figurative? I believe that he's just plain straightforward with his illustrations based on the words that we can see right off the bat how he feels, and just see that the character is happy and loves the world and why he loves the world. How did the author create the mood? Is the mood an impression of yada yada yada? I believe the mood is joy and love, and we can see that one, through the words of the song, and through how the illustrations tie to the words. How we see that the little boy is doing things like in the setting, like through the world, and he's happy. We see him happy and see him doing things that make him happy. And the words are the reasons of why he's happy and why he loves things. Let's move on quickly. Is the point of view from which the story is told appropriate? So again, the point of view, the story is being told from the author, and I believe that the little boy in the book, is the author when he was a little boy. So does the point of view change? No, the point of view doesn't change. It's just the point of view is told by the author, by his feelings, and the character, the little author. I'll just call it. So the story is told from the little author. And I think that the little author is the person telling the story from a different time, right? He's telling the story as an adult, but showing you the story as the child. And that's the point of view. This is from the other section, does the story transcend the setting and have universal implications? I believe that it transcends the book, and because it just is universal. You know, it's about the wonderful world. So it's about why he believes it's a wonderful world, and because it's about the wonderful world, it's a universal implication. You know, like love. The theme is love. The mood is love. That's universal. You can use that. You can love a lot of things. And does the point of view limit the reader's horizon or enlarge it? I think that the point of view enlarges it, um, simply because it helps, in a way, it helps children and people develop more of an empathetic view for other people and their opinions, but also, and this ties into another question. Also, so I'll just go ahead and answer that question too. Is the theme worth imparting? It enlarges it and is worth imparting to children because of how it helps people. It could soften the heart and the mind of all future generations and teach them to love and teach them to take care of one another and the world around them and appreciate all the little things and be more accepting of opinions different of their own, because maybe perhaps due to circumstances they don't think that the world is a wonderful place, but when they read this book they begin to understand why other people might think that the world is a wonderful place. Why does the author choose the particular point of view? So I think that he chose this point of view. I think that he chose to, and he doesn't, it's not clearly expressed. This is just what I inferred, what I believe. But I believe that he chose to say it through himself, because it helps just fully express why, and his opinion on everything, and why he chose to write the book the way it is. The theme is love and happiness and a wonderful world. Does the theme emerge naturally? Okay, so this one was kind of tough. I think that it's obvious. It is stated obviously. It's obvious that he believes it's a wonderful world. I mean, the cover, the title of the book is What a Wonderful World. So I think that it's obvious, quite obvious, but it's also natural. It's not like overly forced. It's not like, it's a wonderful world. Everything is wonderful. I love wonderful. You know, it's like, here's a wonderful world and why I think it's wonderful. So I did a few on the all additional considerations. Do the illustrations enhance and extend the story, and are the illustrations or all the pictures aesthetically satisfying? The pictures are so cute. It even says how he created the pictures in here. It says the drawings in the book were created using pencil, calligraphy ink, wax crayon, and chalk pastel, and then when he created those, they were collaged and colored using Photoshop and a Quark Express, which is another just photo enhancing application on a computer. So I think that they were great. They're great. They're cute drawn. They're unique. It's very detailed, and we'll see. It's very cute. What is the quality of the paper? How sturdy is the binding? Okay, so the paper, I mean, it's not a heavy cardstock, but the quality of the book overall, it's a big book. It's got a nice weight. This would be what I would consider as a teacher book. This would be what my students do not touch because where there's a will, there's a way. They would tear this book up in 30 seconds. Just like I'm reading it, but I don't know how to turn the pages, and I rip this page in half, you know? I would give them books like these paperback books. I didn't do this book, but it was one of the books that I just had lying around. Because, I mean, I don't want to say that some books mean more to others, but some books are more expensive than others. So this one is more easily replaced than this one. And this was a $20 book, and this was like a $7 book. So yeah, I'll just go right on into reading the book. Okay, I'll scoot back. Okay, What a Wonderful World. This is a book based on a song it was written by Bob Thiele and George David Weiss, but it was sung by Louis Armstrong. It's illustrated by Tim Hopgood. I'm just going to do this like I was doing this to my kids. But when we read a book, before we read the book, we'll talk about the title, and we talk about what they think is going to be in the book based on what they see. So, what do you think this book is going to be about? And then we sing a song. We sing a song every time we read this book. And it goes like this. This is the front of the book, the back of the book, and the spine of the book. And all my friends sing with me because they know the song, and it helps them. And then I'll ask, what's this part called? The front of the book, the back of the book, and the spine of the book. And, yeah. So, let's begin. Again, this book is called What a Wonderful World. All of the illustrations are done by Tim Hopgood. And like I said, I think that Tim Hopgood is, he's the author in a way because he wrote the book, but he didn't write the words, right? So I think he's also the author. Okay. I see trees of green. I see trees of green. Red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. Again, these pictures, these illustrations are just so cute. So pretty. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And throughout the book, we see little music notes. And again, this just helps tie the book to the song. I see skies of blue and clouds of white. I see the bright blessed day, the dark secret night. Here's the music notes again. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. You see all the colors. Are also on the faces of people going by. You see friends holding hands, playing Ring Around the Rosie. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. This is a little tree heart tree. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Okay. We also sing we also together, they all know, but when we get to the end, I'll say the end, and we'll all say end together when I close the book. The end. But for adults, because I probably wouldn't go into telling the preschoolers or my friends this part, but this part is what helps me make all these answer all the questions in the checklist, because, and also why I chose the book. It helps bring a deeper meaning Not just why the world is a wonderful place, but why the author wrote the book and why he believes that it's a wonderful place. It says, when I was 6 years old, when I first heard Louis Armstrong's recording of What a Wonderful World, when I was 6 years old when I first heard, I was 6 years old when I first heard Louis Armstrong's recording of What a Wonderful World. We learned to sing the song at school, and the lyrics made a huge impression on me. It's a song full to the brim of hope and optimism, and I think that's what gives it such a timeless quality. A few years ago, my daughter found a recording of the song in a flea market and gave it to me as a present. As soon as I heard Louis Armstrong's gravelly voice, what a wonderful... as soon as I heard Louis Armstrong's gravelly voice sing the first few lines again, I knew I wanted to capture the joy of the song in a picture book. So again, just reading why he decided to write another cute little illustration, why he decided to make this book. It was just the deep personal love for the song and how much it meant to him. Because I can imagine if something meant so much to my dad that I would, and if I found it in a thing and I gave it to him, I knew that it meant a lot and had a deep sentimental value to him that would last forever. So let's see, I didn't go any farther than that. Okay, the rest of the book is just a repeat of why he wrote it. But yeah, Louis Armstrong, love, baby, love. That's the secret. There's a little quote on the book on the back by Louis Armstrong. Again, this is just a cute book. When I saw it, my boyfriend gave me a stack of books that we have lying around. So we don't have much here. I just was a little unprepared. So we had Frosty the Snowman. I didn't even look at it. It was cute. It was little, but I didn't look. I saw it, but I didn't look at it, And then Let It Snow. This would have probably been my next if I didn't do, like if this one was in the option, it would have been this one. If it was in the publication thing. Really cute, because the illustrations are cute. It drew my eye, right? This seems old. I mean, the illustrations, it just kind of look old. And it is. It was like in 1989, right? And I saw this and I was like, oh my god, I've got to do this. This book is so cute. If I had a choice, I would buy a book, and if I had the option, buy little paperback versions like this size, so that I could get an audio CD and I could read the book or play the audio CD while my friends read their little books, right? So cute. Such a cute book. I really, I might have to just make this disappear from my boyfriend's house. Yeah. So that's my review.